Here's Brody Brazil.
You know, the Arizona situation is certainly interesting. We know about those 95 acres. The state of Arizona is going to auction them off. So the Coyotes have a chance, just like anybody else, I suppose, to bid at least $68 million, submit a plan. So the Coyotes had their renderings leaked by themselves on their website, on their app. Then they took everything down. There's still been no more details. I guess we have a little bit of a clearer vision, but maybe we don't. Where do you see things standing?
You know, the Coyotes for years, I've been very much like, okay, we'll be patient. We'll be patient. They've got all this figured out. My patience has run really, really thin over the last 12 months. I hope the auction is just the end of it. And I honestly, I hope they win it. It's done. Right. And then we can get into expansion discussions, because depending on who you ask, either if they don't win the bet, it's not really a bet. Well, it's kind of a bet. I mean, you're bidding, but if they don't win the bid, then there's a rumor that, well, then they'll just force new ownership in, and that new ownership might keep them in Phoenix, or they'll move. Well, whatever's going to happen, I hope happens. It feels like we've been going through this forever with the Coyotes, and now they have an owner that's got a lot of money. So if it doesn't work here, I don't know what else they can do. I think the leaking of the renderings, I think that's more to get public on their side, kind of like, hey, look, guys, this is what we have planned. And sometimes they're kind of clunky in their messaging. So I really hope they get that all straightened out, because it's exhausting. It
wasn't even a polished pitch. And I'm saying this as somebody who, I'll take maybe the other side of it. I hope they stay. I spend enough time down there in Arizona in the Valley for spring training and other trips down there for baseball every year. I see what they have. I know it can work. But it's not the fans' fault if it doesn't work. And I think the league, to your point, has done pretty much everything they can up to this point. I'm only worried about this project. It looks so grandiose that it's like a $3 or $4 billion project. Build the arena first. Right?
I think where they're looking at it is that this idea of having the entertainment district is the idea that the arena itself doesn't generate that much revenue. Right. So you want like a casino and a shopping area and all this stuff that's going to generate all the money, and you're going to bring in a bunch of people. It's very ambitious. And I mean, there's no guarantee that works either. So, I mean, it's that whole, if you build it, they will come. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes it can fail. I do think that there's definitely potential in Arizona. One thing I always point out, and I try to point this out in videos, is the Coyotes have been terrible on the ice for a long time. If the NHL really and truly rigged its results, the Coyotes wouldn't have been bad for the last 15 years. Like, there's no way.
Especially when they owned them, right?
Right. And because they want that market to succeed, wouldn't they have, if they could massage the results, the Coyotes would be a better team. So that's one reason I use, but it's also a reason why I understand maybe a lack of people wanting to buy tickets at this point, because the product just hasn't justified it.
Well, or maybe even if it's something popular in Arizona that's good for 10 years, but what is it like in year 20 and 30 with this new project? You know, kind of when the honeymoon wears off. Yep.